In 2025, big changes are happening in America. But they are happening very quietly. That Coca-Cola factory you saw for 20 years? It is closed now. No announcements. No protests. Just a rusty gate and an empty parking lot. Coca-Cola was more than just a drink. It was a part of American life. Like the sound of a whistle at the end of a workday. Or a cold soda during a hot afternoon. But now, Coca-Cola is slowly disappearing. And with it, many people have lost their jobs. Some people have even lost their homes. This is not just about one factory closing. It is about a whole generation losing hope. They believed hard work would bring a better life. But now, that belief is fading. If Coca-Cola, a powerful company, is closing down without warning, then what is really happening to American families? In this video, we will show you 10 states where Coca-Cola has shut down. These closures hurt local economies. Jobs were lost. Businesses were closed. And many people are struggling. This video is based on public news and reports. We are not supporting any political side. We are not giving financial advice. Our goal is to show the truth in a human and respectful way. Please watch till the end. Because the next closure might be in your city. Let's begin. You may think Atlanta, Georgia, Coca-Cola's hometown, would be safe. But it was the first place to be affected. There was no news release. No farewell. Just the lights going off forever. In 2025, over 5,000 jobs were cut in Atlanta. People from all areas, management, delivery, and farming, lost their work. In total, more than 16,000 people were affected. One man worked at the Coca-Cola factory for 24 years. He thought he would retire there. Now, he is asking for food support to help raise his 2 grandkids. He said, "I'm not unemployed. I was left behind by a system I trusted. Small restaurants in Atlanta are closing. People are leaving the city. Shops that once sold Coca-Cola items are now covered in dust." It is not just about money. It is about losing something that felt permanent. Even in the city where Coca-Cola began, the company is gone. What does loyalty mean now? Thankfully, some groups are helping. Meals on Wheels Georgia and Feeding Georgia are giving food to the elderly. Churches and AARP programs are training seniors in digital skills and light jobs. Georgia was proud of its Coca-Cola workers. They wore red uniforms with pride. But now, those uniforms are packed away. And so is the dream of a stable future. What happened in Georgia is also happening in Missouri. And in Ohio. And in Texas. And maybe near you too. Now let's talk about California. It was once the land of dreams. But now, some mothers must choose between making dinner or turning on the heater. This is not a story from a poor country. This is happening in the United States. In Fresno and Riverside, Coca-Cola closed 2 big centers. Over 1,250 workers lost their jobs in early 2025. But the real number is higher. More than 3,000 others were affected too. These include truck drivers, packaging staff, and even lemon farmers. One lemon farmer said, "We had to cut down 2 acres of lime trees. My father planted those trees in 1980. The supply chain broke. Farms, factories, and stores were all hit. Homes are now empty. Shops are closed. Families are in deep debt. Even basic needs are hard to afford. People must choose between medicine and electricity. But there is still some hope. California Lifeline is helping low-income people stay connected. They give help with phone and internet bills. Churches in Riverside are training older people to start small online businesses. One retired woman said, "I never thought I'd sell things online at 60. But I did. And I was not left behind." California is now a place where people must choose between just living and truly surviving. Now let's go to Texas. Texas was known for being strong. But now, Coca-Cola has left its largest center in the region. In early 2025, over 900 jobs were lost across Texas. From Dallas to El Paso, the trucks that once carried soda from San Antonio are gone. The roads are now silent. Warehouses are shut. One 48-year-old truck driver shared his story. He worked hard to pay for his daughter's college. Now, he is working as a construction laborer. He said, "I don't mind hard work. But I didn't think I'd have to start over at almost 50. Coca-Cola leaving Texas caused a chain reaction. Sugar suppliers, packaging companies, and restaurants were all affected. Even local grocery stores are closing down. If Texas is falling, then what chance does any state have?" But in a small part of San Antonio, some former workers are fighting back. They started a small craft soda business. With help from AARP Texas, they are learning new skills. They are building their future even after 50. This is not just a list of Coca-Cola factory shutdowns. This is the voice of people who once believed their future was safe. If you find this story meaningful, please subscribe so we can keep telling these real stories. Let's go to Florida. Many people used to call it the perfect place to retire. But now, that dream is becoming a sad story. In the middle of 2025, Coca-Cola closed its factory in Tampa. It also cut most of the jobs at its packaging center in Orlando. More than 2,500 people lost their jobs. But the real number is much higher. When the factory stopped, more than 9,000 other workers lost their jobs too. These were delivery drivers, cleaning staff, and nurses at company clinics. One 66-year-old woman lived alone. She wanted to spend her retirement with her grandkids and grow flowers in her garden. But she lost her cleaning job at the Tampa factory. So she had to go back to work. She said, "I thought I was done. But life doesn't wait for me to rest." Now she wakes up at 6 a.m. every day. She stands in line at the supermarket to try to get a morning shift. She has pain in her knees and back. She said, "I'm not afraid of hard work. But this is sad. People who worked their whole lives shouldn't go through this." In Florida, rent prices are going up. Medical bills are too high for many older people. At the same time, Social Security money is being cut. The people who moved to Florida for peace are now just trying to survive. Many ask, if old age can't protect us, what can? Still, there is a little hope. Big grocery stores like Publix are giving jobs to seniors first. Silver Sneakers, a health program for older people, is growing in Orlando. This helps people like the woman in Tampa stay healthy while working. But if Florida is hard for old people, Ohio is hard for middle-aged people. Let's talk about Ohio. Do you think age 59 means rest? In Ohio, 59 means starting over again. In early 2025, Coca-Cola closed its plant in Cincinnati. There were no big news stories, no protests. The machines were taken away quietly. In just 3 months, unemployment went up by 3%. That sounds small, but it's a big problem in small towns. Grocery stores are closing. Banks are not giving new loans. People are using their savings, not for retirement, but just to live. One man, 59 years old, worked at the factory for over 20 years. He used all his retirement savings to join an electrical training program. He said, "I don't want to depend on my son. He is struggling too. I didn't choose this new career. I had no choice. I had to keep going or be left behind." Many people in Ohio are going through the same thing. They are too old to be hired easily. They are too young to get full retirement benefits. This is a big problem in America. A whole generation is learning how to survive all over again. The Ohio Department of Aging is offering training for people over 55. They are working with job centers to help people learn new skills. One woman in the program said, "We don't want charity. We just want a chance to build our future. Even if it's a short future." But if Ohio is where fathers go back to school, Pennsylvania is where young dreams are broken from the start. Imagine getting your dream job and losing it in 6 days. That happened to a 21-year-old man from Pittsburgh. He delayed college to work at the Coca-Cola factory. His mom had just lost her job. They couldn't pay for college anymore. He wanted to save some money and go back to school later. But after only 6 days, the factory closed for good. He said, "I gave up school for my family. Now I've lost both school and work." This was not just a regular factory. It helped more than 40 nearby counties. It was a big center for packaging and deliveries. When it shut down, 1,900 workers lost their jobs. But more than 5,000 others were also affected. Truck drivers, cold storage workers, and suppliers also lost their work. There was no warning. One morning, the whole town had no jobs left. A whole generation in Pennsylvania is now asking, is hard work really rewarded? Coca-Cola's shutdown also broke family traditions. Fathers worked there for 30 years. They wanted to pass down their jobs to their sons. Now those job badges are just memories. Local businesses are closing too. Auto shops, restaurants, and small stores are shutting down. But there is still some help. The Pennsylvania Higher Education Access Program is offering skills training. They are giving scholarships to both older people and young people. This gives hope to people who lost everything and want to start again. Many American families are suffering in silence. In Pennsylvania, young people are losing chances for a better future. Community centers now offer special classes for kids and their parents. It's the first time this is happening. One boy named Jake said, "I wanted to be the first in my family to finish college. Now I just hope I'm not the last to give up." While the young struggle in Pennsylvania, older workers in Illinois face a different problem. They worked all their lives. Now they have to retire early just to pay for medicine. Nobody wants to make this choice after turning 50. In Chicago's western suburbs, a Coca-Cola factory once supported many families. But in 2025, the factory closed. Over 2,000 people lost their jobs. More than half were over 50 years old. They were too young to retire. But too old for most companies to hire again. This is not just about losing jobs. It's about losing safety. Losing peace of mind. Strong neighborhoods now have, "For sale," signs everywhere. Credit card debt is rising. The healthcare system is falling apart. Many people no longer have insurance. They don't qualify for Medicaid. They're not old enough for Medicare. Even a small illness can cause big debt. Illinois makes us ask, did we build a country where workers now need payday loans to buy medicine? But there is some help. In Chicago, Blue Cross and local groups give free health checkups to seniors. Some groups also teach older people how to find jobs that match their age and health. In North Carolina, things are even harder. A woman who worked with machines her whole life now waits in line for food. She said, "I worked at Coca-Cola for 32 years. They called me the heartbeat of the factory. Now I stand in line for a box of food." Her factory in Charlotte closed in March 2025. Over 1,400 workers lost their jobs without warning. It didn't just hurt workers. The whole area suffered. Community centers closed. Families moved away. Schools lost students. Clinics lost money. Even senior programs were shut down. We often hear the word restructuring. But do we ever ask what happens to older people when their world falls apart? No one teaches a 60-year-old how to be unemployed. There's no guide for how to start again. But there is hope. In Gastonia, churches and help centers now work with NC Works. They offer free classes to seniors, like learning electronics repair or elder care. Many older adults are learning computers for the first time. They still want to help, just in a new way. In Missouri, a whole town broke down after one factory was sold to a foreign company. There used to be a Coca-Cola festival every year. In 2025, there was no festival. No people to organize it. No money. No Coca-Cola. In just 6 weeks, the St. Louis factory closed. 850 people lost their jobs. Families moved out. Schools emptied. House prices dropped. Shops shut down. Even the church lost funding. Everything fell apart. One person said, "People think a factory is just a building. But to us, it gave life to the whole city." Immigrant families were hit hard. One single mother from Haiti lost her job in the mixing room. She and two friends opened a small juice shop. She said, "It's small. It doesn't have a big logo. But it's ours. And we still serve the people we love." Thankfully, United Way in Missouri started a new program. It teaches jobless workers over 40 how to start small businesses, like drink stands, bakeries, or home care services. But if Missouri saw a community fall after one sale, then Michigan saw all hope vanish. The Coca-Cola factory in Detroit was the last big one in the area. Other factories had already closed. This one stayed open until mid-2025. Then it shut down too. The reasons? Aluminum prices were too high. Global shipping was a mess. And production was cut. 3,700 people lost their jobs. It was the biggest job loss in Detroit in 15 years. But this wasn't just about numbers. It was about losing hope. That factory gave young people internships. It helped older workers with pensions. One student was ready to intern there. Now he sells things at a flea market. He said, "I'm not sad about losing the job. I'm sad that even the place we trusted is now gone." The closure hurt everything. Grocery stores lost customers. Gas stations went quiet. Pharmacies and buses lost money. People didn't just lose jobs. They lost their sense of home. If Detroit, once saved by cars, can't keep a Coca-Cola plant, then what can we count on? Still, some people didn't give up. Former workers used community money and help from the Michigan Reconnect program. They opened a small soda workshop. It's not big, but it belongs to them. Michigan Reconnect helps people over 50 learn new skills for free, like light engineering or community work. One person said, "We can't beat Coca-Cola, but we can still serve our neighbors. This time, we choose when the factory opens and closes." We've now visited 10 US states. And we've seen 10 broken pieces of Coca-Cola's past. But this is not just about one company. It's about all of us. When you see a can of Coca-Cola, you might think it's just a drink. But to many families, it was food. It was medicine. It was the dream that hard work could bring a better life. Then the factories went quiet. No alarms. No goodbyes. Just silence. The silence of losing your job. The silence of worry. The silence of dreams that stop. We are not afraid of change. What scares us is change that gives people no choice. This video is not made to blame anyone. It is made to share the truth. If you feel alone in your struggles, know this: you are not alone. If you live in one of these states or worked at Coca-Cola, share your story in the comments. Your story might help someone else find strength. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We will keep sharing real stories. The kind that news forgets. But real people live through every day. This video was made using labor reports, local news, and real people's stories. We changed names when asked. We do not speak for any company or government. We only speak with honesty, care, and heart. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.